This is the Global Countdown, first broadcast on the briefing on the 20th of June.
Monocle senior correspondent Fernando Augusto Pacheco has been delving the charts for this week's Global Countdown. Faye, welcome.
Thank you, very
Looking
good to
summary,
be here.
longest day of the year here in the United Kingdom, shortest shorts in the office.
And the sun is here finally. I'm so happy. Very
Me too.
happy.
Only for about 10 minutes, but let's not let that put us off. Where are we going today, Faye?
Sri Lanka. And
Excellent.
And you know what? It's very strange. I have a feeling it's the first time I'm doing Sri Lanka on the Global Countdown.
I wonder why.
I wonder why, but it's a fun top 5. I think you're going to enjoy.
Well, so when I have the choice, the pleasure of sitting in this chair and doing the Global Countdown with you, the songs generally fall into two categories. Firstly, memorable for perhaps the right reasons, sometimes the wrong, and utterly forgettable. Which category does Sri Lanka fall into this week?
Well, there will be a mix of ones. I wonder what you're going to think about number 5, because it is a hip-hop track, but I feel... You know, there's a little bit of social realism there. So it's not about boasting that you have a big car. I mean, the singer, he's working in a construction camp. And one of the lines of the song is, "We feel the pain of another less and less." I wonder if it's even a social critique of Sri Lankan society, Emma.
Making it desperately deep. Thank you, Faye. This is apologies to anybody who is from Sri Lanka and who is listening with their ears half covered,
Yes.
as Faye and I try and say the names of these songs and these artists as bravely as we may. Sean Puta is a gentleman.
Shamputa and Dilo Beats as well. Don't forget about him. The
Never
song is
forget
called
about Dilo Beats.
Ayman Awe, which means why I came. I think it's quite atmospheric. I don't hate it. I actually think it's quite okay. I think it's a good song.
I love that. Damning with fake praise. I think it's quite okay. I don't hate it.
And I like the social critique there, as well.
So explain a little bit more about this. Apologies, again, my language skills aren't what they could be. Where is the social critique in the song?
To be honest, I'm kind of guessing the social critique because he is he's a worker. He's in a construction place.
But he really is a worker.
He's wearing a hard hat.
Oh,
yes.
He's wearing a hard hat.
Yes, a hard hat. So I presume it's a social critique.
So this is genuinely a builder.
Yeah.
Making music.
Perhaps. And he's saying that he feels the pain of another less and less.
How much are you making this up, Faye?
I'm making up a little bit, but but that's what videos are for. Sometimes you have to kind of deduct, because that's the only song I couldn't find properly the lyrics for Ayman Awe, which means why I came.
Filling in the gaps for us, Faye. Thank you. Number 4, where are you taking us with this one? Frankly, this is a voyage of discovery, I gather, from both of our points of view.
Exactly, but this one I did more research and there's more information available. So number 4...
Sorry, I've never had anyone on the radio who came on and said, actually, I haven't done my homework.
Number 4 is the soundtrack of a Sri Lankan musical called Visal Adare, which has been a massive hit in the Sri Lankan box office. And I'll tell you more about the film in a bit, but this is Yasas Medagedara with Mai Mal, which means May Flowers.
Okay, so you've done your research. That's pleasant enough. You've done your research, so what can you share with us, Faye?
It is a very simple story. It's a romantic comedy, very gentle, So as you can see by the song by Yasas Medagara, it talks about two friends and, and their love life and tribulations. So even the lyrics of this track says, "I want to be alone with you, even your sight brings a fragrance." So it's all very romantic, very gentle. And again, a big hit in the Sri Lankan box office. But Emma, not only Sri Lanka. The film is doing very well in Australia, New Zealand and Italy, which, according to my research, they have a very big Sri Lankan community in Europe. The second biggest, I believe, after the UK.
Wonderful. Thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Number 3.
Number 3, I think, is the only known Sri Lankan track here on the top 5. It's from India. The song's called Achacho, which I believe in Tamil means immutable, but it apparently has other feelings. It's kind of a very used word in Sri Lanka and in India as well, because it's Tamil, which is also spoken in Sri Lanka. This song is by Charisma Rai Chandran with Achacho. Let's have a listen.
Yes, anybody who's seen the video for this will understand very quickly why it is the 9th most watched video in the world at the moment.
Yes, there are a lot of dancers, wearing some very beautiful clothing. Lady dancers as well. And an amazing choreography.
With what my mum would describe as a significant global presence.
Of course. Emma, but you know that if you look at that video, in fact, the song's the soundtrack for a film called Aramanchi 4, which is the 4th installment of this horror comedy that is doing so well. But when you look at the video, it doesn't feel like a horror comedy. No. Maybe a little bit of comedy as well. And this franchise talks about a haunted...
Quite a lot of bikinis.
A lot of bikinis.
Well, sort of minimal costumes.
Which is good.
And it's the 4th installment of a horror comedy.
And it's doing so well. And apparently the story, I'll put it in very basic words. There's a haunted bungalow there and there's a revengeful ghost. But I have no idea how this song relates to the film. So I really want to watch this film now.
Oh,
I'm very curious,
the 4th installment of a haunted bungalow. What? This is what the world has been waiting for goodness sake.
I love it.
Thank you, Faye, for bringing this to us. That's number 3, Charisma. Look at the video. And you'll see why it's really popular. Haunted Bungalow notwithstanding. Number 2. Where are we now?
Interesting vibes. We looked, the beats were, I wouldn't say cheap, but there's a fun element to this song.
It is quite homemade, isn't it?
It is homemade, but people, can I be honest, Emma? Actually, if you listen to this, it reminds me of the Electro Braga scene in Brazil. It is a little bit homemade, but maybe there's a sense of humor in there, which could be interesting. I think our listeners should decide what they think of this.
Absolutely. Let's have a listen.
Manjila Sevandi with Akalanj Vana.
Say, at this point, I am now wondering why you have never done Sri Lankan music as top part of the top 5 before.
And I have to say, this song is from a label. This is the biggest music label in Sri Lanka, Desawana Music. They release so much stuff.
In that context, you'd think they'd give them a proper camera. And maybe something a little bit more exotic than the local village hall.
People like this homemade beats, there's something to this. And again, it's humorous, but the lyrics are a bit romantic. Look at those eyes, feel my love, don't lie.
I love it when you say that, but in the video, it sounds... she's grabbing the guy in quite a sort of weird way.
I should look at that again in the video.
I would.
But
anyway, yes, sorry.
Number 1, you're talking bad things about the video, homemade. Number 1 is not homemade.
Oh no, they've got a budget for this one.
It's high budget.
There's at least 2 people in it.
There's a script, there's a mountain, there's a love affair going on.
There's a pen and pencil as well, which I'm a massive fan of.
Same, I love stationery.
We love a bit of stationery music videos.
There's always a connection.
He's singing and holding a pencil. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
And he's the biggest star in Sri Lanka. And he's a rapper, although this song, I wouldn't say is like a hip-hop track. I think it's more kind of a ballad.
I don't think it's a hip-hop track.
It's more of a ballad. It's Dulan ARX with Mandire Heda.
Now, the video to this is him sort of saying stuff to her, pen in hand. One of the things that he says, and we have to thank the internet for translating this, so who knows. One of his lines is, I am a rude wasp. I'm not entirely sure what that is supposed to mean.
I'll tell you why. Because he says, I am a rude wasp and you are a bunch of flowers. That was the second line. So that's beautiful and poetic. And he also says that love is the most beautiful mistake. You know what? I like Dulan.
I'm not sure if my other half turned around and said, this love is a beautiful mistake. I'm not entirely sure how I'd take it. And if he said he was a rude wasp, I'd wonder if the poor man had sort of had a bit too much sun. But rude wasp. Faye,
But wasps need flowers to survive.
they do. Thank you. That was Monocle's Fernando Augusto Pacheco with the Sri Lankan top 5. I asked you a question at the moment, at the beginning of this interview. Do we remember it for all the right reasons? Does Sri Lanka go into the can't remember any of the songs I've just heard to category?
I got to be honest, I liked the number 1 song. I think it's very romantic. I felt moved a little bit.
Monocle's Rude Wasp, Fernando Augusto Pacheco there. Thank you so much.